Hello, how are you? Welcome to another time for Family Strategy with the Family Life Strategist. Praise for is my name. How are you doing? And how is it going on with you? I'm super excited to have joined you tonight, depending on where you are. Thank you very much for those of you on LinkedIn. Thank you for those of you on Instagram. Thank you for those of you on YouTube. Thank you for wherever, Twitter. We've added X and we've added Twitch right now. Thank you very much. Those of you on TikTok, we're going to come very soon. Okay, so how are you doing and how has it been with you? See, if you have missed any of my previous sessions, you can go on my YouTube channel, Praise Forward Live. See, it's like an entire school. This month, I have done 24 videos, 24 on family strategies, various aspects of family strategy. You do not have any excuse any longer. Now, today we're looking at how to forgive without becoming a fool. Because what we see in many relationships is that there are people who perpetuate the bad behavior simply because they feel that they can always ask for forgiveness. So consistently they come back to you and beg when they've done what is wrong. Now, so it looks like, yeah, first time was a mistake, second time maybe another mistake, third time is a pattern. And so how do you get to the point where you can forgive your partner without becoming a fool? Because part of the challenge is if they sense that perpetually you can forgive, they can consistently continue. Some people only say they're sorry because they're caught. They are not sorry because they were genuinely sorry. See, many of us, we have done things that we're not proud of, but then are you doing it because are you going to stop because of the crowd or what they can say, or you're stopping because you are deeply convinced that this is outrightly wrong? And so you can take a partner for granted simply because you think that they can forgive, or because you think they don't believe in divorce, or because we think that they're literally going to forgive because they believe in you. Many people have believed in other people, at the expense of their own life, right? And so it becomes very important for all of us who are in relationship to pay attention to this. One of the things we must normalize and learn to do, especially for those of us who are struggling with one addiction or the other, one behavioral issue which can undermine our marriage or our relationship, is to get to the point where you talk sense to yourself, right? This one is not even anybody talking to you, it's you and God talking sense to yourself, knowing fully well that you're consistently putting yourself in harm's way and you're putting your partner in harm's way, right? And so my mother used to say that the willing horse must not be ridden to death. Oftentimes, many of us will ride the willing horse to death. And it's not even, that's not, that you have even done what is wrong is not the issue. That you're trying to gaslight your spouse is even worse. I call it demonic. Because once you have been caught, right, in something that isn't appropriate, you need to get on your knees in penitence and apologize. You no longer have a right to insist on your way. You see, and you can also determine how fast the person recovers or forgives you. If it takes them 2 years, you have to keep appealing. I have seen situations where someone was caught maybe in infidelity, and then he said he was sorry, and the woman is still processing it. She's still struggling to picture what went wrong and stuff. And then he's saying, "Oh, but I begged you, I begged you." No, if it was that easy, you cannot beat someone and now determine how they choose to cry. If you don't want them to cry, then don't do it. And so when we have done what is inappropriate, we need to get to that point where you appeal, you beg, you patiently wait till they are able to say, okay, I let go. Now you need to understand, however, if you are the offended person, that you don't forgive because they say they're sorry. You forgive for your own sanity's sake. There are people who have never said they were sorry for what they did against me, but I forgave ahead of time. I learned early enough that a forgiving heart is a heart that's willing to forgive before the offense is committed. But you see, forgiveness is not the same thing as restoration, right? If you come to my office or you work in my organization and you made away with 30 billion or 30 million or 3 billion or something, and then you've gone to spend it, we can forgive you, but it doesn't mean we're going to hire you back. No, it doesn't mean you're going to restore. That people forgive doesn't mean they're going to continue in the marriage. We need to get that very straight, right? If the person feels that they can no longer cope, is a deal breaker, you need to let them be. Don't gaslight them. Don't let them say, oh, is it because of what I did? But how many times have I forgiven you? If what they also did was a deal breaker, you could have left. And so we need to understand that it's not because the person is coming to say, I'm sorry. It's simply because you need your sanity and your wellness to be intact. Now, one of the things that I tell people, if you want to forgive someone, is to begin to ask the question why and how, not what. If you ask what, that's judgment. If you ask why, that takes you to root cause, because everyone that is misbehaving is actually troubled, right? You might look at them and say he's an adult, he's doing it willingly. Hey, nobody wakes up and say, I'm going to misbehave, I'm going to do something that will injure me willingly. There is something broken within them that they need to fix. And so you need to understand that maybe the experience that they have been through has shaped them. Of course, human beings are product of choices, but sometimes we don't know the battles we think people have a choice. Sometimes the choice has actually been withdrawn by the reason of what they have been through or how they've grown. People have been damaged beyond recovery at some point, that the fact that they're still CEOs and they can make money doesn't mean something is not broken within them. Now, having said all of this, I have mentioned that forgiveness is not the same as restoration, right? You can forgive someone and keep your boundaries away from them. I mean, I coach people regularly of broken relationships, and I say, okay, this is what they have done. You forgive, because as long as you keep thinking about what they've done in the light of how they did it, you are going to traumatize yourself, and you don't want to take yourself to a place where you're perpetually living in trauma. And so you must not become a fool. Forgiveness does not mean you now open your doors and do as you like and they find their way back into your life. That's not what it means, right? And so people need to prove themselves again, especially when trust has been breached, right? It will take time. And so I mean, I've offended someone before that I consistently beg, I constantly appeal, I'm sorry, I didn't even see it that way, I didn't know what happened, and blah 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 blah. It's taking them 2 3 years to forgive. It's okay, I'll keep begging. There will never be a day I'll look at them and say, that to hell with you. No. You see, if you have offended your brother, all you can do is to appeal. All you can do is beg. Or do everything you can to ensure that peace reigns. The Bible says, as long as it depends on you, live at peace with all men, without and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. Now, the concept of forgiveness is a grammatical construct of for and gift. Now, so it means that a gift that is given ahead of time. So we say that a forgiving heart is a heart that's willing to forgive before the offense is committed. But then there is a process of forgiveness. And that's why I'm going to appeal to pastors. I know some of us do a lot of work in this area where you preach a powerful message and there are people who are still nursing hurt and pain, and then we bring them forward and we tell them we pray for them and ask them to go reach the person immediately. It does not work that way for everyone. There are people that God will touch their hearts almost immediately, but not everyone. And so let's be very careful in telling them to go and now meet the person that hurt them, because they need to process these things. Forgetting the process basically is expanded awareness session, wherein you expand the awareness and you now see beyond what you have been seeing before, why they did what they did, to know that hurting people hurt others. If they don't have hurt in them, there is no way they can hurt you. If you press someone, what comes out is exactly who they are. If what they have is love in them, if you press them, exact pressure, love is what we ooze out. That they were able to hurt you is proof that something is fundamentally wrong. Now, having said all of this, right, there are 5 tips I'm going to give you today that I believe can help you. Number one, forgive for your sake, not theirs. Forgive for your sake, not theirs. You've got to forgive for your sake, not theirs. I mentioned that earlier on, to say that you forgive for your own sanity's sake, for your own mental wellness sake, because you don't see whosoever can get you upset is in control of your life. The worst thing that can happen is to rent a space for them in your heart consistently without them paying the rent for it. And so if you know that every time you think about this person, you feel bad, right? You're feeling bad because of the interpretation you've given to your experience with them. And so to feel differently, you need to reinterpret it in a way that it will promote your wellness. And the easiest way to do that is to create the 3-step narrative management. Step 1, find what is good about them, no matter what it is, whatever it is. Maybe they're a power dresser or he's handsome. Okay, this guy is a very handsome guy. Then all the hurt and the pain that took you through, subject you and reduce it to trouble. That they are troubled is why they can trouble your sanity. So this person is a powerful dresser, a very handsome guy who is currently troubled, inflicting pain on other people, but we believe someday will get help. If that is the narrative, three-step narrative, then when you see them, it's empathy that they elicit and not pain. So forgive for your sake, not theirs. Number two, set new boundaries, right? You've got to set new boundaries because there are people who have made it a pattern to perpetually hurt you. They only come close to you when they need stuff from you. And once you provide what they need, they still go and align with the enemies to try to pull you down and things like that. They've said all kinds of things about you. And there are still kind of those kind of people have met over time that in their most difficult moment, I stood really, really to ensure that they are not back to life. But simply because they're not accountable, they pull out and then they were doing whatever they want to do. And now they're saying all sorts of things. It's okay, right? You see, life pays us back in good measure, President Chicken Gator, and running over. So you want to set boundaries to say, you know what, that I have forgiven you does not mean we are going to be cool, right? I've forgiven you for my own sake and for your own sake. We will be cordial, but then you are not going to be in my inner circle. Because if I brought you into my room first time, second time, and then what you did was to turn the room upside down and destroy and go out and badmouth me, I'll be stupid to take you beyond the gate. You're still going to come to my house, but we're going to be meeting at the gatehouse. You cannot be at the bedroom. That I'm not bringing you to my bedroom does not mean I've not forgiven you. It only means that I've set new boundaries to protect myself and to shield myself from repeated pain. You see, forgiveness is not forgetting. It is releasing your power to create a new future. That's what forgiveness is all about. So set new boundaries. Number three, don't confuse grace with access. I just mentioned that forgiveness is a gift that we give ahead of time. That we have given you that gift does not mean we now give you access. Oh, I've forgiven you for infidelity, but then you want to start having sex with me. No, if I'm not up to it, there is nothing you can do for now, right? You need to give me time to process it and to now say, okay, maybe I can now give myself to you, because it's not just a bodily contact for some people. For some people, it's the totality of their being, right? Or you just think, oh, you stole my money and then I've forgiven you, then you want to come and pick up your job again. No. Or you say you're still my bestie again when you've snitched on me. No, that you forgive, it's not the same thing as access. We can forgive you without giving you access. It doesn't mean we don't forgiving you. It just means that we are now showing that we're not extra careful. And you cannot blame us for being extra careful. If you have come to the house twice, the first time you came, phone was missing, they found it on you. Second time you came, something, a gold was missing, they found it on you. Third time you came, as you come, you're now realizing that people are clearing their thing. You cannot blame them for clearing their thing. They cannot trust you. And so please, when people say meet you for the first time, or they meet you, you've not spent so much time together, and they are saying, don't you trust me? The answer should not be, I trust you. No, the trust is earned. It's not something you just give anyhow. I don't trust you, right? It's okay to say, I don't trust you. Why should you trust anyone with your life behind the bedroom or in your bed when you have never had that experience with them before, right? So don't confuse grace with access. Number four, journal your healing journey, right? How you feel per time, journal it. You need to write a letter, feeling letter to yourself to express exactly how you feel, right? And that's why I always say in the healing work, we ask what happened, then we ask what did not happen. Because many people mix these things together. When you mix what has happened with what did not happen, you are going to end up in a chaotic situation. See, oftentimes what was done to us was not as painful as the interpretation we have given onto it. And interpretation is a function of our belief. Now, that's not undermining your emotion. That's just saying that your emotion is also subject to your interpretation. So journal your healing journey. How do you feel per time, right? You need to understand that when Jesus says, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. It's not because he didn't understand that what they were doing was wrong. It was because he needed to create a narrative that puts him in a place where he's at peace with them. Now, you need to know that if they actually knew what they were doing, there's no way they will be eating him, right? So that they are adults, that the person can preach, that the person is a leader, that the person is respected, doesn't mean they know what they're doing. A lot of people are doing this work with pain. They're doing this work with trauma. I've done this work with trauma. I've done this work with pain. So I understand what that means exactly when I say it in other people, right? So journal your healing, journal so that you can go through a proper healing until I pull away from the work and go and sit with a therapist, so that they can process everything that I'm dealing with, right? I did not find healing and wholesomeness. And that's why when we say to you, get help, get help. They want to collect my money. Hello, you realize that you cannot heal yourself. So journal your journey, right? And number 5, discern when to reconnect and when to release. Sometimes you can reconnect back. Other times you are better off releasing the person. Once you are with a partner and when they have done what they've done, every time you think about them, you feel like killing them. It's better to release them, right? Don't let people force you back into a relationship. If your mind is off the relationship, the appearance irritates you. You've tried to find another way to see them. You've tried to reignite what you feel for them, but it's no longer there. What you feel is, I can kill this guy because he made my life miserable. At that point in time, it's better to let them go and commend them to God, and before you become a murderer, right? And that's why don't allow people force you back into reconciliation, right? And so, but when you are able to look beyond the pain to realize that this person is not that pain, because oftentimes we can reduce people to the pain they inflicted us with. We can totally blank ourselves to all the good moments, all the excellent things they also do, and now reduce them to that challenge. No, people are not the problem. And that's why in processing what has happened, you need to look at it holistically. Is this person a perpetually bad person? Or this person, just add something they're dealing with. Apostle Paul called it a thorn in my flesh, an agent of darkness. He said 3 times I besought the Lord, take it away from me. But he says, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in your weakness. So you need to figure that out, because if you don't look at it holistically, you might throw away a good person who is in a troubled state of his life, which they have the capacity to overcome. So you need to discern when to reconnect and when to release. If you have done everything, but this person has perpetually not changed, it might be good to release so that you can find another person and find another way into your future. Don't forget, forgiveness is not forgetting, it's releasing your power to create a new future. And don't be forced into forgiving so fast, right? Take your time, work with a professional, let them help you process what you're dealing with. And trust me, after you work with someone, you realize that they take you through an expanded awareness session and you are wholesome again. You can actually work with us as well. So you can shoot me a mail, or you can get on my calendar list. This is being displayed on the screen right there and then. And if you are a parent or you are married and you live outside of Africa, you live in the UK, you live in Europe, please do all you can to get the family combo. It will help you. I've been shouting it because you need to build a system. The days are evil. You need to get ahead of time and build a system that will stand the test of time. So I am appealing to you to go get that. It's $150. 2 books are shipped to you and 3 courses. It totally transforms your life. Then, if you want to work with me to build an effective strategy for the future of your family, hey, you can do the scan code or you can book a Calendly session. I'm here to assist and to make your life better. My name is Praise Forward. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow, God's willing. Keep loving, keep living. Thank you very much for all of you on Instagram. You guys are always with me day and night. Thank you so much. You too, people. I love you so much. The people on X, thank you. People on LinkedIn, I celebrate you as well. If you want to work with me as a C-suite, as a leader, please feel free. I can't wait to work with you and show you how to take your life back and become awesome once again.